Hi there, Toby. Hope you're having a good weekend. This is a video lesson for today. Three things I want to talk about. I'll go down the list. If you have any questions at the end or want me to look at anything, feel free to shoot a message over and I'll be more than happy to take a look or give an answer if I can. All right, cool. Let's get to it. So the first thing is A minor pentatonic. So last time we played around with getting this pattern under your fingers, right? Remember that it's the same shape as this. It's a template, and we just happen to move it here, right? Because this note right here is A, right? Because we have the E string, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Combined with that pattern here is A minor pentatonic, right? And like I said before, the implications of that are pretty big, and considering that you can move it here and it could be B minor pentatonic or C sharp minor pentatonic or E minor pentatonic. So you know all these other scales just by knowing the musical alphabet, root 6, and then just one scale pattern. You know a ton of scales now. So but going back to that, A minor pentatonic, what I want you to start working on is a technique we did earlier down here, which is the hammer on. Before we hammered on from nothing, no finger to a finger, right? We did this. Listening for that clicking sound. We're gonna do that same thing up here, right? What we're gonna do is we're not gonna bother doing this right now, right? Later on, yes, you can hammer those, obviously. You can hammer this. If you want, you can hammer whatever you want. You can tap it if you want. Right? But we're not going to bother doing that right now. What we're going to go to the inner strings. The reason why is that I don't want you to get frustrated trying to hammer on with your pinky before you do some pinky push-ups. We'll talk about those later on. So we're going to be here on the 5th string, right? So I'm going to play the scale. I'm just going to chop that 6th string off because we're not going to worry about that right now. I'm going to play 5, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hammer with my ring fingers. This one's down, right? Remember this has that like little fish hook to it? I'm going to hit the 5, and I'm going to hammer down on my ring finger on the 7th fret. So instead of plucking it with my pick and paw, I'm going to hit it, and I'm going to hammer, right? It's not fast necessarily. It's more about weight and energy into the string. So I can play it as slow as this if I wanted to. I'm tired. Now I put a hammer, right? So what we can do here is hit, and then hammer down on the tip of the finger, right? It's important the finger's nice and tall, right? Get a nice rounded finger. Hit that string. And I'm landing right on the tip of my finger right there. That's where I'm aiming for. If you land on your pad, you get like a glancing blow. It won't sound quite as clear. So hit that. Nice and tall finger. You want to slam that finger down like you want to put it through the back of the neck. I guess I left off maybe about 1.5 fingers, like a finger's width. Right? Then I move down to the next string, 5, 7. Remember that this is just an exercise. This is for us to get the technique down. That way we can employ it into a song later on or soloing later on. Right, so the idea is just to get the technique under your fingers. So 5, 7 on 3. Or sorry, 5, 7 on 5. On 4th string. On 3rd string, we'll come back. There is a reverse of that pull off, but we're going to do that later on. So first off, just worry about getting the hammer-ons, okay? So work on that for me. And then you told me you got your lead book. That's great. We're going to go do a ton of stuff in there. And what I want you to do is turn to page 10, and we're going to look at example 1B. 1A you've already done, so I'm not too worried about that. 1B it actually looks pretty simple, doesn't it? It's just repeated notes, right? You have 2 5s, 2 8s, 2 5s, 2 7s, played as 8th notes. We'll talk about that later too. So we had this. You can slow it down if you want to. Get it down. Back down. But great, Doug, that sounds exciting and everything, but how is that any more difficult than what I did before with playing just one note at a time? Well, the trick is actually over here. If you watch my pick and paw, sorry. Notice what I'm doing is called alternate picking. So I'm taking the pick down through the string. So if I do it as a muted string, you can see this way, down, up, down, up. Down, up, down, up, down, up. You see where I'm moving from? I'm not moving my whole arm. I'm not strumming. Strumming, you do this, right? When we strum a chord, we do this. When we pick, it's from the wrist. Notice that my wrist is anchored to the fretboard, or sorry, to the pick guard of the guitar. So I'm right about where I pick, where I'm comfortable at. Ever's arm's a little bit different. Some people are at different spots. I happen to be right here. Is I'm gonna run this screw right here. You have a Strat copy, I think. So your pick guard should be pretty similar to mine. I'm right about here, right? Well, between the second and third pickup, right here like this. Just rest to my palm right there. So I put my palm right about here on the string or on the pick guard, right? And I'm just gonna swing my wrist back and forth like this, right? Down, up, down. I'm just gonna do open strings first. But then, as we get to 4, uh-oh, I feel like I'm reaching for everything, right? How am I supposed to do that? Watch this. Watch right here. If you noticed, as I kind of got to about the 4th string, that's when my hand left the pick guard and it's going to follow this down this way, down the strings. I'm literally touching the strings with my palm, with the meat of my thumb right here. I'll do it one more time. Let's lower this down a little bit so you can see a bit better. There we go. There we go. So we have this right here. Watch my palm. As I get to that 4th string, that's when this is contacting. Right? Just like that. Once you got that down, then put the left hand into the equation. You can do it that slow if you want. There's no reason why you can't go. All right, move down a little bit. Okay, move down a little bit. Okay, move. Backwards. For me, it's right about that 4th string is where I start kind of approaching back to the pick guard again, resting right there. So the anchor. So that's how I anchor onto the fretboard. Because if I just did this, I feel like there's nothing holding me to the guitar. I feel very kind of like floating out in space. I don't like the feeling of that. So this gives me something to hang on to right here. So this week practice doing 1B and 1D. 1D is just a offshoot of 1B. It's just 4 hits per note. Fast. I'm just playing fast. It's good for the exercise. And the reason why we're not doing 1C yet, because those are triplet patterns, because you would change strings, like every other string you would go up and down. So we're not going to fool with that right now. Let's just do these right here. This is difficult enough as it is. All right, so we'll fool with that later. All right, cool. So do that for me. And then lastly, work on, I gave you the chords last time. For 22 by Taylor Swift. Let's go ahead and start working on that. So the chords, just to run through them real quick to make sure you're playing them correct. And if for whatever reason I didn't write one of them down for you, just shoot me a message back and I'll be more than happy to send it over to you. All right, so we have a G chord, right? Then you're going to do D sus4. Notice that these guys didn't move at all. It was literally just the first finger moving down here to the 3rd string, 2nd fret. To C add 9, one you had a question about the other day, and then D sus. So first off, practice just doing that. Can you just strum? Can you go to here? Because keeping these down might be harder than you think. Keep 3 and 4 down. Right? And then for the G chord, the pattern is down, 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 up. D chord, D sus2, up, down, down, up, down, down. Remember, when we go up, you don't have to get through everything. You just want to catch those first couple of strings. And on the downs, you can get the other ones. So up, down, down. So you have this. Down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down. If you're curious, can solo with E minor pentatonic override. Something like that. Cool. Awesome. So, when you and your buddies get together, you guys can jam out on some T-Swift. Awesome. And so work on those 3 things. If you have any questions, like I said before, shoot them over to me. I'd be more than happy to answer. If not, have a happy Thanksgiving. I'll see you in 2 weeks. All right, bye.